They said it was over, that after 60, a man's blood slows, his veins clog, and his passion fades into memory. But they were wrong, because one night a man in his 70s stirred a spoonful of raw honey into warm water. The days he felt something stirring back. Warmth in his hands, strength in his chest, and life returning to the very veins that had grown quiet. What he discovered wasn't a myth, it was a forgotten truth about how the body can still heal, still awaken, still love. I'm Dr. Barbraonail, a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping men reclaim what age and stress have stolen: energy, confidence, and connection. I've seen hundreds of patients who thought they were too old to feel strong again, only to watch their bodies transform once they understood how circulation truly works. Here's the paradox most men never hear. Improving your blood flow and intimacy isn't doing more. It's doing something simpler, something almost too easy to believe. The way you use honey when you take it, how you prepare it, even what you do afterward can mean the difference between sluggish veins and a body that feels alive again. Because when used the right way, honey can help open your blood vessels, increase nitric oxide, and send oxygen-rich blood exactly where it needs this to go. In this message, I'll show you precisely how to use it naturally, safely, and effectively, both to restore your circulation, vitality, and connection after 60. Stay with me, because in just a moment I'll reveal the simple daily ritual, the one I call the 660 method, that can help you unclog your veins and reignite your strength from the inside out. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a second to do so and turn on the bell. That way you'll never miss another natural health tip designed to help men over 60 feel stronger, more confident, and more alive. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me create content that truly serves you. Now that you understand how something as simple as honey can awaken the body's natural rhythm, let's take a closer look at what really happens inside a man's body after 60. Why circulation begins to slow, and how that single change silently affects your energy, confidence, and intimate strength. 1. Why circulation declines after 60, and what it's doing to your energy and desire. I still remember a patient named Harold. He was 71, soft-spoken, a retired school principal who came to my office one grey morning and said, "Doc, I'm tired even when I rest. I feel like my body is slowing down, like I'm not me anymore." His words carry the same quiet frustration I've heard from countless men over 60. They aren't complaining about wrinkles or grey hair. They're describing something deeper, the fading pulse of life that once made them feel strong, focused, and connected. What Harold was feeling wasn't weakness or failure. It was poor circulation. A silent, natural shift that creeps in as we age. You see, after 60, your blood vessels lose some of their flexibility. Smooth inner lining, known as the endothelium, doesn't release as much nitric oxide, that tiny gas molecule responsible for telling your vessels to relax and open wide. Without it, blood flow slows down. Your heart works harder to push oxygen through stiff, narrow channels. And what follows are symptoms most men mistake for just getting old. Cold hands and feet, fatigue that lingers. No matter how long you rest, a dull ache in your back or legs. When you walk, even moments of disconnection physically, mentally, and intimately. The truth is, your circulation isn't just about the heart. It's about everything that makes you feel alive. When blood doesn't move freely, your brain receives less oxygen, your muscles tire faster, and your most intimate areas don't get the flow they need to respond. The spark that once came easily begins to fade. You start to feel smaller inside your own skin, as if a part of you is dimming. I've seen it happen to men who were once athletes, soldiers, builders, men who led with strength, and I've watched the quiet disappointment when they begin to wonder if that strength is gone forever. But here's what I tell every one of them, and what I told Harold that day. Your body isn't broken. It's simply asking for help. When blood flow declines, your cells are starving for oxygen. They're pleading for you to wake them up again. And the incredible thing is, even after 60, 70 or 80, your body can respond beautifully if you give it the natural signals. The veins and arteries that feel stuck can open again. The warmth can return to your hands, the colour to your face, and the power to your heartbeat. That's why honey caught my attention years ago. Not as a sweetener, but as nature's most elegant circulatory support. Something so simple yet capable of reawakening what time has slowed. The way it interacts with nitric oxide, the way it nourishes your endothelium, and the way it pairs with gentle movement can do more for your vitality than most men ever imagine. Because when your blood begins to move freely again, something remarkable happens. You don't just feel younger, you feel present. Begin to sense that same quiet rhythm that once made every part of life feel full, strong, and connected. Is only the beginning. In just a moment, I'll show you how something as ordinary as raw honey can spark that very process, and how using it the right way can help you restore the circulation, clarity, and confidence. You thought you were gone for good. 2, the hidden power inside raw honey, backed by science. I'll be honest with you, for most of my career, I saw honey the same way most people do, a sweetener, something you drizzle on toast or stir into tea. It wasn't until one of my older patients, a 76-year-old farmer from Texas, looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I've been taking a spoonful of raw honey every morning for 50 years, and I still wake up ready to work the fields," that I began to look deeper. At first, I smiled politely, but when I saw his pulse, his energy, and the colour in his face, I knew there had to be something more to it. So I went to the research. What I discovered changed the way I think about ageing and male vitality forever. Real raw honey isn't just sugar, it's alive. It's filled with enzymes, antioxidants, flavonoids, and trace minerals that actively support the cardiovascular system. Compounds that help the body increase nitric oxide, the same molecule your arteries need to expand and send blood exactly where it's needed. In other words, honey gently reminds your blood vessels how to open up again. And that's where the magic begins. When blood flows freely, oxygen and nutrients reach every cell. Your brain becomes sharper, your muscles recover faster, and your most intimate areas respond with warmth and sensitivity. You might not have felt in years, but not all honey can do this. The cheap, clear kind you see in plastic bottles has been filtered and heated, stripped of all those healing properties. What your body needs is raw, unfiltered honey, ideally local or organic, rich with living enzymes that still carry the power of the flowers they came from. Science is finally catching up to what ancient medicine knew thousands of years ago in Ayurvedic traditions. Honey was used to strengthen the heart, restore virility, and improve energy in aging men. In Egyptian medicine, it was called liquid gold. Today, studies show it can improve cholesterol ratios, reduce oxidative stress, enhance endothelial function. the very foundation of healthy blood flow. I've seen it happen firsthand. Patients start using raw honey correctly, their skin tone brightens, their hands feel warmer, and their mental fog begins to lift. They look and feel alive again. But the key is not just what you take, it's how and when you take it. You can't just eat a spoonful of honey any time and expect results. There's a method, a rhythm that amplifies its effect inside your body, the right timing, the right temperature, even the few minutes of movement that follow. You can make the difference between a mild benefit and a true transformation. Because when you combine the natural chemistry of honey with the proper routine, it doesn't just sweeten your morning, it opens your veins, it energizes your mind, and it reawakens your connection to life itself. And that's exactly what I'll share with you. Next, the specific daily ritual I call the 660 honey method, a simple yet powerful routine that can help you restore your circulation and vitality from the inside out. 3, the 660 honey method, how to use honey to unclog your veins. Over the years, I've watched countless men try supplements, medications, and complicated routines, hoping for something to make them feel alive again. But what I've learned after decades of studying circulation and male health is that sometimes the smallest rituals hold the greatest power. The 660 honey method is one of them. I didn't invent it to sound clever. It was born from observing patterns in patients who found their energy, focus, and vitality quietly returning after making one simple change. It begins with the morning, the most powerful time of the day for your blood vessels. When you wake up, your body is dehydrated. Your heart is working harder. Your blood is thicker than it will be at any other time. That's why so many heart attacks and strokes happen 9 a.m. But it's also why this is the perfect moment to send your body a signal of renewal. Unfiltered honey, stirred gently into warm water, not hot, and taken on an empty stomach, tells your system it's time to open up again. That honey interacts with your endothelium, helping your body produce nitric oxide, while the warmth of the water wakes up your circulation gently, not shockingly like cold coffee or sugar-filled drinks. Then comes the second part of the ritual, the 60, meaning a slow, intentional 10-minute walk within the next hour. I tell my patients, don't rush it. Don't turn it into exercise. Make it a rhythm. As your muscles move, the nitric oxide that honey helped to release begins to circulate, opening capillaries and sending oxygen-rich blood through your firm veins. It's not about burning calories. It's about reawakening the flow of life through your body. Patient named Carl, 66, who came to me after years of feeling tired and numb. He followed this method, teaspoon of honey each morning, a warm glass of water, then a quiet walk around his block. After 2 weeks, he looked at me with surprise and said, "Doc, I didn't expect much, but my hands feel warm again. My head feels clear. I even started to look forward to my mornings." That's what this method does. It rebuilds not just blood flow, but relationship between you and your body, between intention and energy, between habit and vitality. Works because the body loves consistency. Each day you follow this ritual, your veins remember what openness feels like. Your cells start responding more quickly. You feel lighter, more alert, more connected. It's not a miracle. It's biology responding to rhythm. And the more you repeat it, the stronger that rhythm becomes. So if you've been searching for a way to revive your strength without medication, this is your place to start. 1 teaspoon, 1 walk, 1 decision each morning. But as powerful as this method is, what truly brings it to life are the men who use it. Because behind every heartbeat and every step, there's a story. And in the next part, I'll share some of the most inspiring ones I've ever seen. Real men over 60 who brought warmth, confidence and intimacy back into the lives with nothing more than a teaspoon of honey and a little hope. 4, real stories, real renewal. You spend enough time in medicine, you learn that healing isn't always measured in numbers or test results. Sometimes it's found in the way a man looks at himself in the mirror. Again, not with judgment, but with quiet pride. I've seen it happen, and it's what keeps me doing this work. Every patient who has tried the honey method has a story, and each one reminds me that it's never too late to feel alive again. I remember George, a 69-year-old widower who came to see me after his divorce, left him feeling invisible. He said, "Doc, I don't think I have it in me anymore." Not the energy, not the drive. He started small, 1 teaspoon of raw honey in warm water every morning. A short walk after breakfast, no expectations. When he returned 3 weeks later, there was a softness in his expression I hadn't seen before. He said, "I've been sleeping better. My hands don't get cold anymore. I even started going to the local dance class again." That's when I saw it. The spark that had been hiding beneath the weight of age and disappointment. It wasn't just about circulation. It was about permission to feel joy, to engage with life again, to take up space. Then there was Ron, 74, a retired firefighter who'd spent his whole career saving lives but couldn't seem to save his own energy. His blood pressure had been high for years, and medications left him feeling dull. He was sceptical at first, but agreed to try the method under supervision. Months later, his doctor adjusted his medication because his circulation had improved. But what struck me most wasn't the medical change, it was the shift in his voice. "Doc," he said, "my wife and I talk again like we used to. Don't rush away from her anymore. I feel present." And then there was Carl, a quiet man in his late 60s who used to sit across from me with a kind of defeated stillness. He told me he felt numb, not just physically, but emotionally. After 6 weeks on the honey method, he returned with a different kind of calm. He said, "I don't know what's happening, but I feel myself again. It's like my body woke up and my heart followed." Those words still stay with me because they capture what this ritual really represents. It's not just about the blood in your veins, it's about the life in your spirit. The beauty of these stories is that they remind us that change doesn't require perfection, youth, only consistency and faith. Each of these men started with a small, almost invisible choice, yet over time, those choices began to rebuild something far greater than physical health. They rebuilt presence, connection, and confidence. And here's what I've come to believe. When circulation returns, so does connection. Because the same blood that brings warmth to your hands is the blood that fuels your heart, your mind, and your intimacy. That's exactly what we'll explore next. The fascinating link between blood flow and bonding, and why improving your circulation might just be the key to restoring emotional and physical closeness in your relationship. 5. Why? Better blood flow means better intimacy. I'll never forget the conversation I had with Walter, a 76-year-old man who sat across from me one afternoon, eyes steady but tired. He said, "Doc, I don't miss being young, I miss feeling close." He wasn't talking about performance or passion in the physical sense. He was talking about something deeper. Presence, connection, the ability to look at his wife and feel that invisible thread between them. Again, what Walter didn't realise and what many men don't is that the strength of that connection is written in your blood. Good circulation isn't just about the heart or the arteries. It's about the way your entire body communicates. When your blood flows freely, your brain receives oxygen more efficiently, your nerves fire more clearly, and your hormones stay balanced. Testosterone, dopamine, and serotonin. The very chemicals that make you feel confident, alert, and loving depend on healthy circulation. When the flow slows, everything else follows. You laugh less, you think less clearly, and you start to feel distant not only from your partner, but from yourself. I've seen it time and again. A man walks into my office talking about fatigue or low desire. Really fading isn't just his energy, it's his sense of connection to life. When you improve circulation, it's like flipping a light switch. The warmth returns not just to your hands and feet, but to your thoughts, your emotions, your ability to engage. The same blood that fuels your muscles also fuels your heart's capacity to feel. I've seen men rediscover tenderness they thought was gone forever. Suddenly they find themselves listening more, smiling more, initiating a touch not out of routine but from genuine affection. And that, to me, is the true power of intimacy. Not just the physical act, but the emotional closeness that only comes when the body and mind are awake together. When the blood flows properly, you don't just respond better in moments of passion. Become more present, more grounded. Your partner can sense it too. She feels your focus, your energy, calm. That's why I often tell my patients, a healthy man doesn't just make love better, he loves better. Because the science is clear. Improved blood flow enhances sensitivity, boosts testosterone, and sharpens emotional awareness. It bridges the gap between body and soul, turning routine moments into connection. I've had men tell me after following the honey method that it wasn't just their physical strength that came back, but their laughter, their patience, their ability to sit quietly and hold someone's hand without drifting away in thought. Beauty of circulation, it carries more than blood. It carries your presence. And yet, as powerful as honey and proper circulation can be, not every man experiences these changes right away. Some unknowingly block their own progress through small mistakes that dull the results. So before you begin this journey, it's important to understand what not to do. The common errors that can quietly undo all your efforts. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. 6, what not to do. Common mistakes to avoid. When I first began sharing the honey method with my patients, I expected everyone to see changes within weeks. Warmer hands, steadier energy, clearer focus, and stronger connection. But over time, I noticed something curious. Some men thrived. Others said they didn't feel much at all. At first, I wondered if the method simply worked for some and not for others. But as I looked closer, realised it wasn't the honey that failed. It was the way it was being used. Small, seemingly harmless mistakes were quietly blocking the results. The first and most common mistake is choosing the wrong kind of honey. Count how many men came to me proudly holding a bright plastic bottle from the supermarket, thinking they were doing everything right. The problem is most commercial honey has been heated, filtered and pasteurised until there's nothing living left inside. The natural enzymes, antioxidants and minerals that support blood flow are destroyed. What you're left with is sugar water. Sweet, yes, but powerless. What your body truly needs is raw, unfiltered honey, ideally local or organic, where the enzymes and natural plant compounds remain intact. What supports nitric oxide? That's what helps open up your veins and bring warmth back into your body. Second mistake is timing. I've seen men take honey right after a heavy breakfast or late at night after dinner, thinking it doesn't matter when they take it. But timing matters more than most realise. When your stomach is full, your digestive system is sluggish and the honey's nutrients can't work efficiently. The best time is early in the morning on an empty stomach or about an hour before intimacy. That's when your body is most responsive, your blood vessels most open to receiving the signal. The third mistake is impatience, the silent killer of progress. Men start strong but stop after a few days because they don't feel an immediate jolt of energy. But this isn't caffeine or medication, it's nature's rhythm. The honey method works quietly, steadily, restoring balance one day at a time. It's not about instant gratification, it's about building momentum. And when you give your body time to respond, it always does. I've even seen men overdo it, taking 2 or 3 tablespoons a day, thinking more must be better. It's not too much. Honey can spike blood sugar and lead to crashes that undo all the benefits. Teaspoon is enough. Consistency matters more than quantity. Your body doesn't need to be flooded. It needs to be reminded gently of how to function at its best. So if you've made one of these mistakes, don't feel discouraged. Most men do at first. What matters is adjusting course. Once you choose raw honey, use it at the right time and stay consistent. Your body will respond faster than you might imagine. You'll feel it. They add your warmth, your energy and your confidence. But here's where things become truly meaningful. Because once you correct those mistakes and the blood begins to move again, something deeper awakens, a rhythm that goes beyond the physical, one that reconnects you with your purpose, your strength, and the man you've always been. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. 7 final thoughts. A doctor's message to every man over 60. Spent more than 3 decades sitting across from men who've quietly carried the weight of fatigue, frustration, and doubt. Men who once felt strong and confident but woke up one morning wondering where that spark went. And every time I tell them the same thing, it's not gone. It's just been waiting for you to call it back. Because the truth is, age doesn't take away your vitality. Neglect does. And the moment you decide to care again, to give your body and mind what they truly need, something incredible starts to happen. When I first began recommending the honey method, I wasn't trying to sell hope. I was simply trying to reconnect men with their own biology, with the wisdom that's already inside their bodies. And over the years, I've seen what happens when they commit to this small ritual. Their colour returns, their eyes brighten, they speak with more confidence, laugh a little louder, and walk a little taller. It's not the honey alone. It's what it represents. A signal, a daily declaration that says, I'm still here and I still matter. You see, healing isn't just physical. It's emotional, mental, even spiritual. When circulation improves, yes, your blood flows better, but so does your clarity, your energy, your purpose. You start feeling like yourself again. And when that happens, everything else follows. The relationships, the connection, the drive. Seen men who thought their best days were behind them find a second wind, one that feels calmer, wiser, but no less powerful. That's the beauty of age. When you choose to nurture it, it rewards you in ways youth never could. What I want you to remember is that this isn't about chasing your younger self. It's about honouring the man you are now the one who's lived, loved, endured and learned. The one who still has more to give. Because when you start each morning with purpose, when you move your body and fuel it with something pure, your heart begins to trust you again. It's a quiet but powerful shift, and that's why I say start simple. 1 teaspoon of raw honey each morning. A short walk, a moment of gratitude,